If you want to know whether you should get the GoPro Hero 12 or the DJI OSMO Action 4 as your next underwater action camera, you should really stick around, as I'm just about to share my experiences and my comparison results testing these two cameras for filming underwater. Right after the intro. Hey there underwater filmmakers, it's great to see you back here on the channel. I have received quite a few requests from you guys to compare the DJI OSMO Action 4 to the GoPro Hero 12 when it comes to using these cameras for filming underwater. So I took those two cameras on my recent group trip to the Philippines, and I did a few dives where I was comparing those two cameras side by side. I had both cameras attached to a dual handle tray with no lights added to it. Both cameras were inside their original dive housings. For the GoPro Hero 12 I also used Backscatter's red flip filter system, and I was changing between taking shots with a red filter in front of the lens and without a red filter in front of that lens. I'm not aware of a red filter system that fits the DJI OSMO Action 4 housing, so for that reason I wasn't using any red filter, and all the shots taken with the OSMO Action 4 were taken without any added red to it. With the introduction of GoPro's new GP log picture profile, both these cameras now have a proper log profile available to choose. This is absolutely great in my opinion. And that's why I also focused the side-by-side comparison on the log picture profile, and I wanted to see how these two log profiles compare to one another and which one of those two is giving you the nicer looking image once graded. So I was solely focusing on comparing and using those two picture profiles, and I wasn't using any other picture profiles for this testing. The reason I'm prioritizing the log profiles in this comparison here is very simple, because this is the format, the profile that I personally would choose when using either one of these cameras to film underwater, so that I can have the most flexibility in post-production when it comes to color adjustments, and also have the best chance to match such a camera to other cameras that are being used in the same project. So let's talk settings before we go into comparing the actual footage. Both cameras were set to 4K at 120 frames per second, and the field of view was set to wide. The OSMO Action was set to 10-bit D-Log, and I had the sharpness and noise reduction set to -2. Rocksteady was activated. On the GoPro I used their new GP log profile. Hypersmooth was set to on and sharpness was on low. Both cameras were set to auto white balance and auto exposure. So let's now have a look at some of these example clips and discuss what we're seeing on the screen. So the first thing that I notice is that the GP log footage looks somehow a little more contrasty and more saturated than the OSMO Action's D-Log footage. Also, the GoPro footage looks much greener, especially when the red filter is in place, which I find a bit odd. Seems like the auto white balance is not working properly in GP log with a red filter in place. This is correctable in post, of course, but still I find the log footage coming out of the OSMO Action 4 more natural looking than the GoPro footage. When we take the red filter off the GoPro, the auto white balance seems to be doing a better job. The other very obvious thing is that the GoPro footage looks very noisy, something that is not new to GoPro footage and has bothered me in my previous GoPros as well. Even after applying a standard denoiser, it's still very visible, and only after having applied the neat video denoiser, it looks a little better. But applying that takes an extra step and a lot of computing power, so I would rather avoid it if possible. The OSMO Action footage holds up quite okay. I mean, you can certainly see some noise, but it's usually sufficient to use the regular denoiser from Final Cut Pro X to get it to an acceptable level. This has probably to do with the larger sensor size the OSMO Action is using compared to the GoPro. As expected, the footage from both cameras can be graded pretty much to your likings. After all, it's both 10-bit footage, and you can tell when working with it, as you can manipulate it quite a bit, so you can match those two cameras to one another as well as to other cameras used in the same project. Personally, I found the footage from the OSMO Action easier to work with, and I got the desired results a bit quicker than with the GoPro footage. And last but not least, I wanted to see if my existing GoPro LUTs work with the new GoPro Hero 12 and maybe even with the OSMO Action 4. I'm happy to say that they do work with the GoPro Hero 12 and also with the OSMO Action 4. You might just need to adjust the white balance a little bit to compensate for the possible color shift. But all in all, they work fine. I will leave the link to the LUT Pack down in the video description below, just in case you want to check them out and purchase them to help you color grade your action cam footage. So there you have it, guys. I hope you found this first little comparison of test footage from the GoPro Hero 12 and the OSMO Action 4 useful and informative. Which footage do you like better? Is it the one coming out from the GoPro Hero 12? Or maybe the footage that comes out of the OSMO Action 4. Let me know down in the comment section below. My personal favorite is the DJI OSMO Action 4. I find that the footage coming out of that camera just looks a little nicer to me, and I also find that it is easier to work with. I can get it easier to a place where I'm happy with the footage and where can I use this footage alongside with other cameras that I commonly use in my project. So yes, I will most likely gonna be using the DJI OSMO Action 4 more on upcoming projects and trips than the GoPro Hero 12 for those reasons mentioned. If you are thinking about getting one of these cameras for filming underwater, please let me know down in the comment section below whether this video today was useful and beneficial to you in helping you make a choice which of these camera models is the better one for you. And if that's the case, then please do consider using one of the affiliate links down in the video description below to purchase your action camera. It will not cost you anything, but it will put a little bit of a kickback into my pocket, helping me to continue making these videos here for you. Thank you so much, guys, for your time and for watching all the way through to the end. And as always, should there be any other questions, leave them down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video and hit that subscribe button so you're not missing out on any future content that will be uploaded here regularly. Thanks again for being with us today, and I will see you in the next video next Tuesday.